Morning all, how we doing? How's everyone doing this morning? Wide awake? It's a bit early, isn't it? 10 to 8. Never mind. We'll get used to it. Right, so we've got 8 minutes to the open for Frankfurt. So going to start off this morning, quickly whiz through the news for the day and have a look at the news overnight, see what happened to the market. So where are we? Wednesday. So we had the Aussie dollar GDP overnight. Came out ever so slightly under estimate, but pretty much estimate. So although it's a red number, that's not red. That's pretty much spot on target. So we've got unemployment for Spain at 8 o'clock, which is don't need to worry about. CPIs for Europe at 10. Morning, Adrian. We've got OPEC all day today. So watch your CADs. And then this afternoon, 1:15, an hour before open, we've got non-farm employment change. And then we've got the Canadian rates this afternoon at 3 o'clock as well, and then crude. So massive day for the CAD today. And obviously potentially for the US dollar as well. So keep your eyes peeled on those. And obviously it's non-farm on Friday. So overnight we had the Australian dollar rates. So as you can see, we didn't really get an awful lot. Morning, Rahat. Morning, Michael. On that, we had a A-shaped recovery on Aussie CAD. Same thing on Aussie Swiss. So basically all happened really was we had a little bit of movement, but nothing dramatic. So it was as expected. Typically, I would expect that to be a drop for the Aussie, but we didn't get a drop. We didn't really get a rise either. So just basically a non-event. So that's good. So just having a quick look at the DAX and what happened yesterday with indices. Morning, Andy. We had another drop on the DAX yesterday. We bottomed out down here at a double bottom, and we gapped up ever so slightly today. We gapped up to there, so there's nothing. So yeah, big down day yesterday on the DAX. We are down at support, so we'll see what happens this morning. I suspect potentially this morning we will see a bit of a pullback and then ahead of a drop a bit later on. But it's difficult to tell at the moment. At the moment we are opening before the open, obviously, with it's a little bit bullish. So we'll see. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback up into these areas this morning. So I'm looking to potentially play the opening range long. But again, with what's going on in the Ukraine, I don't know. The fact that we've got so much going on at the moment with Ukraine, with oil prices, with energy prices in general, with inflation worldwide, everybody's pockets are being squeezed. Nobody's got any spare cash, and basically everything's kind of doom and gloom. So I can't see any reason for a positive move other than a pullback on any index at the minute. So we will get those pullbacks, and it's whether or not they happen. So opening range today, I'm either expecting us to break these lows and hold these lows and go, or pull back and drop. So that's the plan. S&P and the other indices, same thing. Obviously yesterday we had big down days across the board. Gold, nice push and continuation push starting this morning. The Dixie is started with a flurry in Asia as well. We're just coming up to the highs on the Dixie. So big area there to be aware of. Quite possibly going to get a double top bounce off of that. Probably only a bounce though before a continuation. So yeah, big moves everywhere at the minute. Something with the ruble, not a lot. And our friend Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin? Let's look at it on the other chart. Bitcoin obviously had that flurry. We had a sideways day yesterday and sideways at the moment, but a lot of money came in for crypto, so I suspect Putin's put all his money there because that's gone up and the indices have gone down. So it's very odd. Morning, Stevia. Nearly 9 a.m. 19 degrees, sunny and clear. Don't. Morning, Yoseni. Yeah, no, not here. It's not. It's about 8 degrees, cloudy and drizzly. There we go. There's the weather forecast done. So, plan is to play the excuse me, opening range this morning, and any candlesticks patterns we get on the open, and see what happens there. I banked yesterday about 2% on the CFDs, and I did $333 excuse me, in the end, on futures. I took another quick one at the end of the day, which made me about $70. So I'm planning to play both of these today, but we'll see what happens. So we've got 3 minutes to the open. We'll have a look at the FX pairs after the open. There's no ADRs today so far. There's some weekly ranges hit, but they're all mainly euros, and you don't want to be doing anything with euros. There's a few hourlies as well, mainly still the pounds and the euros, and the same across the board there. The pound is on its backside at the minute. I don't know what's going on with the pound. We'll have a look at all of these, but I mean, the euros, we know we don't want to be long in them, but the pound is really, 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 really struggling at the minute, badly. But on a positive note, we are getting to absolute exhaustion points on a number of these pound pairs at the moment. Got some bullish price action coming in at the start, so we'll see. We might well get that bounce today, hopefully, but we'll see what happens with them. Oops. Right, so let's concentrate on the open here. So pre-market, obviously we've got support put in here, and that's the high of the pre-market. So we've got quite a tight little pre-market to work with this morning. So 40 seconds to the open. I've just noticed there's extra opening ranges been drawn in, which is because I've left this initialized. So I might have to reinitialize that to get rid of those. So I'm just talking through technical stuff while I'm seeing it. Yeah, so it's drawing extra lines, isn't it, historically? This is this new feature I put in yesterday where it draws in if you add the EA after the opening ranges have been put in. But it seems to be drawing them in again. I'll have a look at the code on that. Right. So I've got bullish moves starting across all the indices. Okay, I'm just going to go with a quick buy stop above the high of this candle. We've just broken this high. So if we are going to start this pullback, and it's going to be a quick pullback today, I just want to get gathered up on an order to go long. So I'm just getting my buttons ready to enter pending orders on the last candle. So putting stop loss mode to last candle. And when this candle closes, I'm going to put a buy stop and a sell stop in above and below the last candle. Doesn't look like that's going to go from there, so I'm going to cancel that one off for a minute. And then I'm going to just basically play the opening range break with the pending order. See if we can get a move after this first 5 minute of orders is in, and try and get the break if we're going to get a break today. Either high or low, either or. 2 minutes left on this candle at the minute. Bit of a weak open this morning. Very, very slow. Wow. That is a slow open, isn't it? No directional bias whatsoever at the moment there. Okay, so I've just switched to this candle. So I'm going with the buy stop above and below. We'll look to play the opening range break of this 5 minutes. Looks like it wants to go bearish at the minute. We've got a long wick candle, so we've got a pending order, another pending order placed short as well. Okay, double bottom there. Not quite double bottomed, nearly. Okay, gathered up on those shorts. And out. It's 0.8%. So I'm going to cancel that pending long. Looks like we're going down. Okay, first trade in the bank. Just going to quickly sell short on futures as well. Just going to add a couple of sell stops on. Looks like this might want to break down again today. Where are we going to go? So 42.32 on the S&P is potential support if we are going to break down. So I just got one on that at the moment. I'll get gathered into two more positions if we break down, and then target down at those lows. Just going to take strong close auto trading off on this, because if this is going to come down hard today, I don't really want to be getting in on strong close candles very far away from the moving average, because we could quite easily pull back, and I've only got a 500 point stop at the minute. So I'll trade long wicks, inside bars, IRBs, and bearish engulfings short. But I'm not going to trade strong close candles at the open, because quite often we will get a strong push at the open and then a pullback off of it, and that's a big old candle, that. So what I don't want to do is get into a strong close and then it just does a 500 point pullback, stops me out, and then goes down. So I'm just going to monitor that, because we are right at these lows as well. So this may not be the direction at the open. I still think we're due a pullback on this, but I'm going to give this some breathing room as an initial order, just above the 61.8 level. So we may well, I really think we got a pullback due on this just after the move we had yesterday. But at the moment with what's going on, it's very difficult to tell what the market's going to do. But we had a very big, nice down day. But yesterday was an inside bar still. So we are only in an accumulation rotation potentially at the minute. Until we break this low, we're not confirmed as this being the new high on this leg. So I think we could well easily pull back up into here today and then muck about before a drop. So just going to be give it a little bit of breathing room. There's that strong close candle, you see. So pending order would be under there. What I was worried about was it pushing down, gathering me up into the position, and then doing exactly what it's doing now, retracing that candle back up to the low of the wick there and taking me out. So I'm going to go with a sell stop under the low. Happy to take a sell stop now. We've got such a big move going in. That's going to be getting hairy on the futures. So again, same thing here, looking for this to become an inside bar close. So push down, inside bar up, inside bar down, and then continuation. Wow. Big move there. Just going to reduce risk down a little bit on this. Don't like the look of this candle at the moment. Dow and the Nasdaq are putting the same thing in. DAX is retracing a little bit. Selling one. Getting in a bit eager here. This is obviously you're normally getting on candle close, but I like with the rejection at the 50 there. If we are going down today, that's probably the pullback before the drop. How did your trades go after the builders yesterday? Yeah, you were stopped out a couple of times before they turned up. Yesterday did 2%. IRB is similar to a pullback strategy, yeah. Yeah. So IRB is this candle here is going to be an IRB. When this candle closes, if it closes like this will become an IRB. IRB is short for inventory retracement bar, which is basically a long wick candle in in line with the trend. So there's one there. So basically, as the market is moving down, price pushes down, it will then retrace up and get pushed back in the direction of the trend. So inventory basically is just orders getting absorbed and retracing. Yeah, so your pending goes underneath the IRB, so the pending will be entered here. In fact, I'm going to cancel my pending because that is going to trigger as an IRB anyway, as it is at the moment in the next 45 seconds, if that's where it closes. So yeah, it's a trend continuation candlestick. It's basically the same as a long wick, in effect. IRB showing ORB in comments of open trade. What do you mean? Not sure what you mean by that. That wasn't an IRB because that was not a 45% wick. I'm going to get stopped out on this this position. I'll get stopped out on both of these. The candlestick patterns don't show. Oh, you mean in the comments section in your trades? Yeah, you won't. It won't show. It won't show your candlestick patterns in here. It doesn't show those. It will show an ORB entry if it's an automated ORB, but ORB's got nothing to do with an inside range bar. It's a totally different strategy. Opening range break. That's too tight. Okay, I'm going to put a sell stop again to get gathered in under that. So if you've got your EA set up to trade opening range breaks, that would have been an opening range break. Yeah, so so you've taken an opening range break. There hasn't been an IRB to take. So you've taken an opening range breakout. You've got trade the Frankfurt opening range break set to true. So that will comment an opening range breakout. I didn't take an opening range breakout automated. I took a manual trade there. So hence mine won't say that. Mine says market sell because I took a market sell. No, it shouldn't, Rahat. It shouldn't be IRB. IRB is a completely. You're getting IRB confused with ORB. An opening range break, an ORB, is a break of the opening range. Yeah. An IRB is an inventory retracement bar, which is a long-wicked pullback candlestick. One is a candlestick pattern. One is a strategy. They're totally different things. Nothing to do with each other at all, apart from the fact they've got RP in them. They're totally different things. IRB, no candlestick patterns will be entered into your comments with anything but bear auto entry or bull auto entry. Yeah. So candlestick pattern trading comment is bear or bull auto entry. It doesn't tell you which candlestick pattern triggered it. It just tells you it was auto traded on candlestick patterns. Okay, this DAX looks like it wants to do the long here. Stops out in that position, $91. Okay, we've got 45 seconds left on this candle. This will paint as either a long wick or an inside inside an IRB. Both pretty much the same thing, basically. Okay, so up at 61.8 retracement on this initial move now on the S&P. Running into sellers on the Dow. It's very confusing, acronyms. There's too many acronyms in this industry as it is without introducing candlestick pattern versions. Going long one on the DAX. I'm going to add a second one on a break of that high. We've just broken this high, basically. We haven't held it yet, but I think we could be pushing for that pullback. The S&P has already achieved it, and so has the Dow. So I'm assuming these guys today are going to be the leading indices, and the DAX is going to be dragged along behind, which means we should be hopefully getting a pullback. I don't like long indices at the moment, though. It feels very awkward longing these indices because the market is so heavy. I'm just going to watch these a little bit closely. Just hovering over the close button on these. It's looking heavy again. We've still got to break this high here. Oops. If we can break that high, we're probably going to be off from here. We'll go over and have a look at the RSI extensions in a minute and just see what the market's opening as. Just want to concentrate on this trade for a sec. Bit late to be chasing this move on the futures, so I'm just going to leave that there for a minute. Come back to that later. I'm just going to increase my profit target on this at the minute, 1.5. I just want to let this run a little bit, because if we break this high, I've got the feeling we're going to pop. We're breaking the opening range high now. So if you're trading the opening range breaks, your opening range break low failed if you took it on candle close. If you took it on pending, obviously you're in, like I did, and made a profit on it. We're now looking to break the opening range high. So trade long and look for pullbacks to the opening range and bounces. Stops underneath the opening range low. Just going to increase my TPs a little bit, just in case we get that pop. If we get that pop, we could put a nice, decent M5 candle in on the next candle. If we can get there, obviously. Stivier, I have all the indicators except for the RSI dashboard. Is it heavy on the CPU? No, the RSI dash isn't. The reversal dashboard I found slowed my laptop down too much, but the ADR dash doesn't slow it down at all. No, ADR is updated less frequently, obviously, because it's just measuring the daily range. The reversal alert dashboard is monitoring 5 different time frames over and over again for 2 different conditions. Just scaled into an additional position on there. So 3 long. We've got the opening range break, but we haven't got the break of the market open high yet. So yeah, the RSI dash, obviously, this is just monitoring whatever time frame you're looking at. So this will only run once every 4 hours or once every hour, depending on what time frame you're doing across those pairs. So it's really, really quick, much, much quicker than the other dashboards, because it's doing a lot less. I'm just going to turn scaling in off for the minute, because I'm trading all the candlestick patterns anyway, so I don't want to get into too many positions long. I'm just going to see if we get this pop at the high. If it rejects, I'm going to close them. Okay, we're getting a pop. Oh, rejecting. Just thinking about it. Closing 0.5. I wanted to see that pop. There'll be limit orders and stop orders up there for all the short players, and normally they will get popped, and we'll see that reaction through there where we get a spike which we didn't get. So it's rejecting up at these highs at the minute. So just better to be safe than sorry, just put it in the bank. So back up to 0.7. It's probably going to go now, but better to be safe than sorry. I didn't want to get 3 positions long stopped out, because that would have been 1.5% loss. So I'd rather have 0.5% in the bank than 1.5% loss. So opening range high break is 100 pips. So I'm going to stick the opening range in. I'm just going to buy at market. Well, that's not opening range, is it? Okay, just moving it down manually. That's going to be about 1.5% risk on there. So potential resistance is going to be here. So just going for that level. See if we can pull back and push up to there. I'll let that run for a minute. Right, so let's have a look at FX. So 4 hours. We've got loads of extensions on the 4 hourlies at the minute. Again, like I said, these are not really opportunities. These I'm going to go through them, but I'm going to explain why they're not opportunities. Obviously, with what's going on in the Ukraine at the moment, the euro is on its knees. It was on its knees before the war started. It's not getting any better. So do not try and long these euros. We've got a nice double bottom going in there at 100% ADR. So potentially might get a little bit of a pop, but up to you if you want to take them. But I'm not taking anything long on the euro. Euro Swiss, same thing. Euro New Zealand, massive extension. We're on the 80s. We're down below the 15s. We don't get down here very often. This lights up once or twice a month, maybe. This once every 6 months. We are so close. This is unprecedented events, obviously. So don't try and long those. Same with the pound at the minute. Now the pound odd. We are getting a bullish engulfing going in at the minute on this. We have had some bullish price action before last week, but since then, this is the first signs of bullish price action we've had. So if this does hold, I know some people are probably long this. I've got a long on this at the moment myself. I've got an aggressive drawdown control position on it at the minute here. Trying to get out of these positions with a break even. I've taken some loss yesterday and I'm trying to get out with everything at break even just to go flat. I'm just going to try and get myself completely flat, which will probably mean taking somewhere between a 5 to 10% loss on some of these positions. But I'd rather be flat with a 5 or 10% loss coming out of a 40% month than sit here trying to dig myself out of these for the next 3 weeks and the entire market completely crash. So if you're going to take them or you're in them, aggressive drawdown control. So M15, M5, aggressive positions, whatever you're in. So if you're in, I think on mine, I'm in something like 0.25 long, 2 positions on it or something. So I'm entering with a 0.25, 100% lot size aggressive position with a stop under there. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But if I don't get stopped out, I'm out on this, literally, in a very quick movement. In fact, let's have a quick look at the VPS and I'll show you the positions. So yeah, pound odd, pound CAD, pound New Zealand, pound Swiss. These are all really, really, really struggling at the moment. All these pound pairs, and I'm not quite sure why we are getting hit so hard by this. The only thing I can think of, as I said yesterday, is banking. Double bottomed on the pound US dollar at that 100% move. Yeah, so we did pull back and we've double bottomed. We're putting in some good signs this morning. Looks to me like the US dollar is dropping. Yeah, so we've got dropping US dollar at the minute. Okay, so just taking a long, so I've got a long on there. Yeah, I've got a buy stop on there. So there's an IRB, just to clarify. IRB is there, which is a strong push, 45% retracement in the uptrend. Yeah. So we are entering if that gets broken. So if that just does that now and then pops, we're in with another position. Yeah. So it's a retracement. So basically what this is buyers scaling into the market, and this is buyers scaling out of some of their positions. And then the assumption is we're going to buy and continue to scaling and add to those positions. So this retracement is basically sellers trying to beat the buyers down, buyers also taking profit, and then a continuation move. Yeah, so that's what those candles are. Where are we? Sorry, just get. So at the moment, I've got a few pounds on. I've got £1 US dollar. So as you can see, I've taken aggressive positions here. I've got is it just the one? Yeah. So I've got 3 positions on this one. I've got one up there. I've taken 2 down here with stops under these lows. If it comes down today and takes these out, I take a loss. If it doesn't, I'm out really, really easily on these positions. In fact, I haven't got the moving average line on here. So my break even, I'm going to keep an eye on these basically, but when this gets back to break even, I'm getting out. So I've taken a $200 loss trying to get out of these. So far with aggressive drawdown control, they haven't worked. Sitting in 2% drawdown. So either it's going to get back to break even, or I'm going to get out of it with 4 or 5%, which is fine because I've got 14% banked. So at the moment, this is not a situation you want to be position trading in. Same with here. We're in same position, pound New Zealand. I've got an aggressive position on. So I tried one yesterday, tried one this morning, didn't work. This one's got a Euro New Zealand long on it. Should have been on the ball on this and watched the EA, but wasn't. So pound New Zealand and we've got Euro odd long. So the pound New Zealand, I've got an aggressive drawdown control position on there and there, stops under here. So either this is going to work, get back up to here. If it gets up to this low here, actually, in this accumulation, if we can get up to there, I'll probably scrap the whole lot with whatever it is. And if it's like 1% loss, fine, doesn't matter, get out. So that's the plan on the pound New Zealand. If we get some bullish price action on that, the Euro odd, I've got those 2 positions on. This one is where I had a failed aggressive drawdown control. So they've got 23 on there. So I'm going 25 long, hitting it now. Yeah, aggressive position. If it works, you can see where I've put my average there. If it works and we get back up to there, I'm out of the whole lot with a break even. If it doesn't work, I'm going to take a $60 loss. Yeah. So, you know, this is what aggressive drawdown control is. Normally, I would never action this here with 2 positions. Normally 3, 4, not even 3. 5 positions, 6 positions is when I start thinking, right, need to start doing something about this. This has gone a little bit further than I expected it to. Right now, with what's going on with the Euro and the war, I'm out as soon as I can. So these are either going to work or they're not. And if I have 3 or 4 attempts at aggressive drawdown control and these don't work, I'm just going to scrap it. Get rid of it. And this is an unprecedented point. You know, we don't normally have this, but I got 24% banked. I'm sitting in 6% of drawdown. If this gets to sort of 8%, I'll shut it. We'll take a little bit of a loss this month. Every now and again, you're going to take a loss month, but you know, we don't have wars regularly, so just have to take it on the chin when it happens. Same here. So pound New Zealand, I've got one on there. I think I've got one up early. Yeah, one up there. So I've got a total of 23 on. I took an aggressive drawdown control position there last night. I forgot to put the stop loss. Again, schoolboy error. I forgot to put the stop loss in place. So I took another aggressive there and I've put the stops down there on those 2 positions. So I've got a 0.5 long now against a 0.26 up here. And again, we'll be looking to get out of these when we get to break even on them. We're sitting in 4% at the moment. It's not going to take long for that. It's literally 2 15-minute candles up and I'm out on that. That drawdown will be gone very, 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 very fast. Where is it? So we're just about to get a reverse alert on this. So, if this one gets back up to kind of around that level, in fact, I'm going to bring all these stops down. Let's calculate it properly. Okay, so this position up here, that is going to be a $170 loss. This position here will be a $65 loss. So let's call that $230. Profit on this position will be 170. Profit on that position will be around 60. So that is break even on all 4 positions. So if we get a good couple of 15-minute candles in, out there, flat, done. As you can see, auto trading is turned off. Actually, you can't see. Auto trading is turned off on all the EAs at the moment. I'm manually managing these positions myself. And then we got this mess here. Already taken big loss on this today. Trying to do aggressive drawdown control. 7% loss, down to 22% on the account now, with 5% sitting there. So again, I've got profit on positions at the moment. The trouble is I've got completely overloaded on the pound, and the pound is the thing that's gone. And this is a really good lesson for everybody. What I keep going on about, do not overexpose yourself. What happens when you overexpose yourself and you get a squeeze? You get hurt. And that's what I've basically done. I was in the positions and tried to get out of them and couldn't get out of them, basically. So yeah, going to take a loss on this one as well. So going to basically hope that we get a pound push. We've started a pound push today on these pairs. And again, I've got a 0.13 there. So I don't actually need to go that high on this one. Let me just work this one out. So that's 150. And that's a 70. So that'll actually be a profit on that one. Pound CAD, got 2 positions. So this is an aggressive one that failed this morning. So I had an aggressive drawdown control position from here. Stop under there. That's already been stopped out. So got so I'm going to go 0.25 long on that one. Buy stop there. So that's going to be, 85 there. 50 loss and 70. So that's going to be 2 negative. Let's put it in that accumulation. Okay, so that will get me out of that one. And pound New Zealand, I've got 2 aggressive positions on there. Again, that's probably targeted too high. So that is going to be 180, 260 odd. Yeah, so I can get out here. Okay, so just looking to escape those positions there. And the pound Swiss. I've got buy stop there. To trigger, so I've got one on there, so I've put a double position on to try and get out really quick on these, and obviously looking to target this low. So if we do get the pullback, worst case scenario is that, best case scenario is it goes to the moon. If it goes to the moon, that's fine, I don't care. I'd rather be out and flat and miss that profit than get stuck further and draw down on that. So that's basically what I'm doing on those. So that's basically, we are in emergency situations, aggressive drawdown control. So yeah, basically just getting out of those positions. And we'll see what happens over the next few days. But the pound is looking pretty good at the moment. Some nice bullish price action coming in at the moment at the open, but obviously we need to see a continuation and a follow through on these. The euro is just not getting there. You get a bit of bullish price action coming in, but obviously there's such tighter candles on the euro at the minute. It's just not got any legs. So that's all you've got on the H4s. And the H1s, it's all the same stuff. It's the euro and the pound collapsing. So we have nothing else to look at really on those. And ADRs, as I say, kind of ADRs are just a little bit out the window at the moment as well. Hence me trading small time frames, because there's no real point in trying to enter positions at the minute. It's all down at the moment, unless it's gold or oil. Even gold's not doing well at the moment. Oil's done another new high. It's really tempting to jump in long on this. Literally, pending orders above the highs whenever it makes a new high. And you'll just get in, get out, get in, get out. Every time it makes a new high, pending. And just let it make you money at the moment, oil. We're up to 113, nearly a barrel now from $1. Everyone was like, $1 a barrel? That's crazy. It's 12% increase in 24 hours. It's getting drastic. So best position at the moment on everything is either long gold, long oil, or sit on your hands, really. And scalp, which is what we're doing. Right, so we've got pullback going on at the moment on the opening range. I'm going to try one long on the S&P with a tight stop on this one, just below that propulsion gap. Let me just put a fib on that. Move. Why don't you remember my settings? Okay. Just going to stick that down below the 61 retracement. So just looking for pullback and long, basically. So assuming that we are going to do the pullback on the indices, and this isn't the pullback. This could just be the pullback here. But assuming we're going to get a bit more of a continuation pullback on the indices, long in there, assume that we're going to get a deep pullback and go. Add one more at the highs, and then add one more on the break of the high. I'm going to target 50% on the hourly, assuming that we're going to get a down move today. Is anybody in any positions in deep? I know a couple of people are. A couple of people have DM'd me, mainly because the euro has been longed. Most people seem to have longed the euro, which has got them into the most trouble, which is obviously understandable. We should have been shorting the euro. Well, I have been shorting the euro. I just let the EA get me into a long on the euro, which was a bit silly. But is there any other pairs anybody's in that they want to have a look at specifically, FX-wise, or anything else along those sorts of lines? Let me know. A couple of people also have asked for the price action toolkit for MT5. So I'm going to start working on that today. An MT5 version. Why is the stop loss at 100? GA and EA. Yeah, so pound odd obviously is ticking up now nicely. Whether we're going to get a reversal alert on that and potentially start the move back up difficult to tell at the moment. They're massively extended, obviously. So this is a this is a drop from hell. We don't see moves this fast, this hard on the pound. We just don't see it. So this is all war based, and quite why, don't know. GU buy. I wouldn't buy anything against the US dollar at the moment. The US dollar is where the money is flooding. So, the money is coming into the US dollar. So everything's going to come down against the US dollar. Unless the US turn around and do something stupid like say, right, Putin, we're coming. In which case, then obviously the US dollar will be affected differently. So at the minute, just if you're going to buy anything, feel free to buy anything. Yes, everything is a lovely buy at the minute because it's so massively extended from a mean reversion perspective. It's all looking awesome. But use a stop on everything. Yeah, so if you're going to take that, no problem. Just use a stop. You can't trade position on this because anything can happen. We don't know what happens when other countries get involved in wars. Rahat, I've hedged most DD trades. Don't know how much. Don't know which point to break it. Mostly euro and pound pair. Yeah, if you're going to hedge them, let me just go through these pairs quickly first. So yeah, pound odd just starting to tick up. Again, aggressive drawdown control or get into positions long and don't get too greedy on them. Look at all the support resistance. Yeah. So if you're going to take a pound odd long there, stop goes under there, profit is there. Yeah. EA, same thing. If you can get a reversal alert, brilliant. But again, stop. And look for where we're likely to pull back to. So on EA, you're looking here. You'll be lucky to get an ADR on anything at the moment. I really think you'll be lucky to get an ADR on anything at present. It's just, especially with the euro. GU. Whoops. It's going to depend on the US dollar, obviously, with this one. But again, reversal alerts. You've got to wait. This is a nice looking long technically. In a normal situation, I'd be saying, yeah, lovely, but not right now. But if you are going to, yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful long, isn't it? But if you look at the move, we've done the pullback already. Yeah, there's your 38. We've done it. And we've started to leg down. So this could well do that. It could also do that. We don't know. I mean, what's Putin going to say next? What is Biden going to say next? What is Biden going to do next? His statement yesterday was like, Putin, you're going to pay for this. Like, it was like kids in a schoolyard, wasn't it? What does that mean? What's he going to do? What are they planning? I just don't know what's going to happen. So tight stops and play technicals. Technicals will probably still play out. Yeah, we've got double bottom playing out here beautifully. Like anything, it will either play out or it won't. You just need to look for where it's likely to be going if it is going to play out when they play out. And M5 is you're going to get a lot of, especially on the euro and the pound, you're going to get a lot of M5s. Beautiful W going in there, but we've had lots of beautiful W's before. You're going to get a lot of invalidated alerts when you've got a strong trend against you like this. So higher time frames, more reliable signals, but you're obviously going to get in later. Aaron, long on US dollar yen. Yeah, US dollar yen is one of the pairs you can play at the minute because obviously these are both safe haven currencies and you're going to get these accumulations. So you're better off longing, I think, the US dollar yen. So yeah, that's a nice entry. You're not going to get extensions because obviously we are pushing and pulling against each other on the US dollar and the yen. So yeah, hedging. If you're going to hedge, if you're stuck in something and you're going to hedge it, there's two ways to hedge. Obviously, you can hedge with 50% of the position, which is what people commonly do. So if you were long 2 lots, for example, and you get to here and it breaks down and you go, right, sod it, I'm going to go short. You go short with 1 lot. And at some point down here, you will take profit on that. And then that is when you assume you're going to get the pullback. So you would enter another long. Yeah, so you're making money on the way down, entering another long. If you want to use all of this profit to reduce some of the drawdown, you can do. The other option is you would short the entire lot and just put a freeze on your position. So you will not make any more money. You will not lose any more money. If you're 100% hedged, whatever your drawdown is when you hit that hedge, you are in it. That's it. That's where you stay. And at some point, you then need to start reducing that hedge. So if you see signs of bullishness coming in, you would take a little bit of loss off up here, and then you're in a slightly positive hedge, or a little bit of loss off of one of the other way rather than you go to a slightly positive hedge. So, but hedging, I've never ever had success with. It's always terrible hedging for me. I just don't do it. I do drawdown control, but you know, we haven't been in situations like this before. So, is placing sell and buy pending orders on the NAS a strategy or plan gambling? No, pending orders is how you should be entering on all things, really. This is not happy today. Oops. Sorry, one sec. Can't really pick a direction on this thing today. What do we reckon, long or short? It's just taken me out there. Do we have another go long? Or is this the pullback for the short? This is a really tricky day today. I'm going to let the EA do it for me. So this is going to auto trade positions for me short. I'm going to cancel those pendings off. Don't like those. So yeah, is placing sell and buy pending orders on the NAS a strategy or plain gambling? No. On everything, placing pending orders is your best bet if you're scalping into positions. So if here's a strong close candle, if I think this is going down, I'll place a sell stop underneath that candle. Whoa, not with a tight stop like that. Higher the last candle. So yeah, sell stop under there. NAS, S&P, DAX, Dow, it's all the same stuff. Doesn't matter which one you pick. They're all the same thing. They all move in the same way, the indices. That's how you should be entering, because if you see a candlestick pattern, you need to get in when that candlestick pattern is confirmed. And that candlestick pattern is saying, looks like we're going short. So if we continue short, get me in. Don't just get in on the candlestick pattern. Get in when it's confirmed that that is happening. Yeah, so that's why pendings are so good. This is why that you'll see me using these buttons way more than you'll see me using these buttons. Yeah, because I'm now saying if this gets confirmed, this strong close, i.e., if you pull back up and slam through it, get me in. Don't just get in, because if this pushes up, you're immediately stopped out. Wait for a confirmation, which it's trying to do at the moment. Yeah, so we've pushed up a little bit. There's more selling pressure coming in. So if there's more selling pressure coming in, get me in short. If we don't get that selling pressure, don't. And the same thing on the NAS. Yeah, so I've got gathered up into that trade now short, because we've got more selling pressure coming in. This was a bit of a difficult one because this was not just a strong close. This actually closed at the low. Normally on a strong close candle, you'll have a go up to a 20% pullback on it. So you'll tend to find the reason the strong closes work so well, a typical strong close like this one here, yeah, Let me just zoom in a little bit. You've got a propulsion move to the downside. Yeah, and that propulsion move has pulled back a little bit. The pending order under here means that if you had got in there on the close of that candle with a sell order, you were immediately stopped out by that move. By placing the pending order, what's happening is if the move is wrong, like it was in this case, never mind, doesn't matter, you haven't lost anything. That's why the pendings work better than market orders when you're scalping, because you're confirming the entry. And yes, it can still do exactly what it's doing here. It can still gather you up and pull you back. But what will happen is the times where it immediately pulls back, you won't be taking losses on those. You're eliminating those immediate pullback. You know, like every time you get into a trade, how many times has this happened to you? You see price moving, you take a long, and immediately it goes the other way, and everyone goes, oh, they get stopped out straight away. If you'd have placed a pending order there, that wouldn't have happened. If you can eliminate those from your trading, half your losses immediately become profitable. So pendings will help you stop getting into positions where you take these immediate losses. And giving your trades room to breathe as well, and then scaling into them when they're confirmed. Yeah, so if you want to get in, if you're getting in here and this pulls back to 50%, you could hit the sell market there with a stop above the last candle there, and you've got a much smaller risk on your second position. Or you could enter, let's see if it does it, and I'll do it. What I would do is enter with a pip amount up here. So if we push up to there, I'll enter with a pip amount short, yeah, and I will alter my stop loss and bring it down to that candle. So instead of taking a 0.5 risk, I will be taking something like a 0.25 risk. Or if you want to, just go sell stop under this candle. I'll probably go under last candle. Yeah. So, you know, this looks like it's still heavy. So get in again if it breaks down below there. So, you know, what we're saying is rather than placing limit orders up here, which a lot of traders will do as well, to say, right, if that happens, I suspect we're going to come up and test that wick, i.e. this propulsion gap. We're going to try and fill this propulsion gap so it doesn't exist. I will set a limit order there and then go short. If what it does is that, the person that placed that limit order is immediately stopped out. It's much safer to say, if we push up to there and I'm right, get me in when I'm right, when the move is confirmed. And you'll find that after that gets gathered up, if we're going bearish, we're going to break that low and it's going to collapse through there. So now we've got a propulsion gap. So the potential play here is up into that propulsion gap and short. So if you want to, you can keep doing pending orders. So if this pushes up into there now, you could place a sell stop underneath the low of this candle. And assuming we do fill that propulsion gap and collapse, you're going to get gathered up with 3 positions short, and you're going to be out of that almost immediately with a 0.75 or a 1% or whatever it is. I'm just going to make that 1%. Yeah, so it's not gambling. I mean, in effect, Harry, trading is gambling, isn't it? You're putting risk on the table. You might as well be in a roulette or a blackjack. It's just this, you've got the odds are in your favor because we have pattern recognition, where in the blackjack table it's 100% luck. And same with roulette. EN is very good monthly, weekly levels. Yeah. It may well be. But I just, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Euros at the minute. There's just no, you know, there was no hope before the war started. What hope's it got now? You know, most of NATO is sitting in Europe, and it's not going to be good. The main problem the Euro has now, which it didn't have before when it was on its knees, is now 40% of its oil and gas is on the table with Russia. And that pipeline goes through the Ukraine. They've had to cancel the other pipeline direct to Russia because of what's happened. So potentially in the next 3 to 4 weeks, the lights could go off across Europe because they won't be able to power the power stations. It's not good for the economy of Europe, what's going on at the moment, even though they're not involved. And I think this is partly what's happening with the pound as well. You're not going to have currencies like the euro really having much hope of going north unless this thing stops. So you've got to try and take these quick moves to get yourself out of things if you're in them, and then just short it. Short every pop, yeah. If you, this is completely inverse to what you would normally say, but at the moment, the strategy with the market reversal alert indicator is, I think, if you get a reversal alert, short it, because at the moment, a reversal alert is showing you a pullback, and we don't want to be trading long, do we? We want to be shorting the pullbacks. So, scaling in short on the euro is kind of the play at the minute, even though it is so extended. Watched Suffered State of the Union clown show as I saw the dollar drop, then start to rebound after it was over. What's that? I've not heard of that. State of the Union clown show. Oh, you're talking about the UN conference thing, or is that actually a program? I don't know what that is. Right, I've made a decision. I'm going to sell the S&P. This is a long-term play today. So this is a kind of a position trade I'm taking. So I'm going to look to scale in. This initial move here, I think, is probably potentially done. So I'm going to enter in here. I'm going to take a second limit up here with a stop above that high. So the plan on this one, I think today is this is the pullback, which is what I was expecting and hoping would happen. And now we are going to start the move short. So what I'm looking for is initial entry there, pullback, second entry, and then all the way back down, and I'll get gathered up. So I'll be 4 contracts short on the way down there. If that doesn't play out and we are going to continue north, I'll be 2 contracts stopped out there, which will be somewhere around $250. So that's kind of what I'm going to play today. I'm just going to get stopped out on that DAX as well. This is a horrible, horrible market today. Oh no, that's not going to be a stop. It's that's a sell stop. Okay, so we tapped back into equal highs there in this propulsion gap. So more sellers stepping in at the minute. It's an annual speech by the President of the USA. State of the Union. Did he say it was in a mess? Yeah, I don't really pay any attention to what they say in the US too much, because obviously it doesn't affect me a massive amount. But tough day today. This is a tough open to read. We are very undecided at the minute in rotation. The thing that worries me is there's still a lot of movement to the upside potentially here. I just feel bearish at the minute on this, but might be wrong. I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it these trades. If these trades stop out, I'm probably going to give it a rest and just watch this morning, because I don't want to just get chopped around in this. That's kind of line in the sand. So next entry on this I'll take will be a short here with 500 point stop. And then I'll move the stop down and take a small loss on that one if that one goes wrong. But this is the opening range low, obviously, which we're just retesting at the minute. So we've done an opening range breakout high, opening range breakout low, and we're retesting. So it's either going to be a whipsaw today, and nothing you can do in a whipsaw, or we're retesting the opening range low break and we'll continue to the downside. Horrible open. Nice trade there though, just didn't manage to get to 2% today. Okay, taking one more sell. So sellers stepping in the propulsion gap. We were all waiting for Biden to offer up reassuring oil drilling and exploration. He didn't. Blow out to the dollar and our national security. Yeah, it's just... I honestly don't think any of the leaders of any country at the moment have got any idea what the hell to do with what Putin's doing. It's complete unrational invasion, and I don't think I think the world has basically been sideswiped, and they're like, well, what just happened? How do we deal with it? And I don't think there's any answers at the minute, and that's what they're all scurrying around and having meetings for. Is like, what do we do if we go in? We are effectively starting World War III. If we don't go in, we're letting him commit war atrocities, and it's a do you open up the world to potentially way more lives lost by starting World War III, or what? This is... I wouldn't like to be in charge of a country at the minute. And obviously everybody's coming out the back of COVID, just about to start recovering from COVID. So we've got economic plans which are in place, and then everybody's suddenly saying, right, we need to find another 100 million for this, 100 million for that, and try and fund a war. When basically the economies of pretty much every country are bankrupt. It's just not good timing, Putin. But hey, at least we can sell short. Yeah, if the world is collapsing and the markets are going down, at least we can make money out of it. Assuming they do go down, which they're not at the moment. Okay, so just retesting again the 2050 area in this propulsion gap. If we break above this propulsion gap, I'm going to close these out, I think. Not a good morning today. A situation like this, maybe the hedge strategy on breakout lines could work well. Yeah, I haven't managed to test that properly yet, Rahat. I've got an EA which is half built to test that strategy. I have done some testing on it, and it works well most of the time. But when it doesn't work, it blows your account. It's martingale. Martingale will always do that to you. At some point, there will never be a point where it won't do it. It will always do it at some point. So the key to that strategy, for any of these that don't know what I'm talking about, the strategy basically is to take the opening range high and opening range low, and you take a long, and if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't work, you take a short on the opening range low. If that works, brilliant. If it doesn't work, you come up, you take another long at the opening range high, and you basically keep longing and shorting the opening range high, which is basically an accumulation, until the market moves to take profit. I'm going to take a loss on this by the looks of things, if this 50 doesn't hold. I'm just waiting for this candle to close it out manually, but I think its decision's going to be made for me, unfortunately. So that's basically the strategy. But you use martingale to recover very, very quickly out of it. And the simulations I've done, most of the time, no more than 6 positions are taken, which is fine. But what I think the key to that is to have a maximum opening range, because where it seems to go very wrong is where you have a high opening range. If you have a very, very big open, sort of like that, you tend to just get whipsawed, because the range, if it goes into a rotation after a large opening range, you can get way, way, way more positions that come out of those. I'm done for the day, basically. It's not working today. Well, I'm done for the session, rather. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can get that working. But I think you need to have a very tight opening range, and you need to be going for sort of somewhere around about 0.5% to 1% gain per breakout. And that seems to be very effective until it doesn't work. And the problem is with the strategy tester is, in the strategy tester, you can only go up to 50 contracts. 50 lots. I'm talking futures now. 50 lots. So it's very hard to do a simulation, proper simulation on it, to find out where the end is, because it doesn't work. You can't. It goes to 50 lots and it maxes out. So I think I need to test it with a 100k account, but even then it's just still not going to work properly. So it's in the pipeline. That I'm working on it. If I can't find an edge on it, then it'll be dumped. Sorry if I missed US dollar CAD with oil rally. Is it a dodgy play? US dollar CAD. Difficult to tell. There's the thing we want to be worried about with that one today is the CAD GDP. The CAD rates. Rates are expected to increase. CAD is a short, therefore we should see a short move on the CAD. But we've got OPEC crude and obviously a massively spiking oil price at the moment. So I couldn't tell you what's going to happen to CAD today. Wouldn't know. Every trade, there's no matter what you say to me about any position, I would say to you, flip a coin. You've got as much chance of being right as you have of being wrong at the minute, because if the market conditions say that we should get a short CAD today, and then they accidentally blow up the oil pipeline in Ukraine, it's going to do something completely different. Yeah, there's nothing you can do at the minute for directional bias, really, apart from, as I say, oil and gold long are really the only kind of safe bets at the moment. But they're safe bets at the moment. If all of a sudden Putin turns around and says, all right, I'm going to stop Ukraine, you can have your sovereignty, that's going to happen. So it's as safe as it is until something changes. Yeah, so if you're going to long this, look for long areas. Look for pullbacks on moves and maybe take a long there. If you see bullish price action or reversal alert long, get in there. If you get stopped out, get in there. If you get stopped out, get in there. One of those will work in all likelihood, unless all of a sudden something changes. Yeah, you can't tell at the moment. Price action and technical analysis is totally out of the window. Price action's not out the window on short time frames, but technical analysis is not really worth much at the minute. We're not being driven by technicals, we're being driven by fundamentals, and that's the war. So you can't really make a decision either way on those. Let's have a quick look at what the pound's doing. So down 1.6 so far today on the scalping. So we've got the reversal alerts on the pound. Odd. Pound CAD fails. Pound Swiss, we got it. Pound yen, sort of in the middle at the minute. Pound New Zealand and pound US. Didn't get it. So we've got strong US again. US is just taking out the highs. So yeah, big strong push on the US dollar again today. Drop on pound US. So yeah, not looking great for the pound at the open. But again, any of these positions obviously stops under the lows, stops under the Asian session. Likely to get taken out at the moment, unfortunately. But you want to be short in everything, I think, at the minute. Got a strong close on the DAX there. So just closed back above the 2050. But we are just in rotation. Difficult, isn't it? Went to get gas today. $4. Wow. Good thing I drive a scooter. I drive an electric car. So I haven't been to a petrol station or gas station if you're in America. I haven't been to a petrol station for, don't know, 4 months. Literally, I have not don't need petrol anymore. Don't use petrol anymore. So couldn't tell you what the prices are. I know they're going up because it's on the news. But yeah, don't use it. Obviously, electricity is the most important thing to me at the minute because 90% of my house is powered by electric, and so is my car. So if the price of electricity goes up, I'm in trouble. Then I might go and buy a gas guzzling car. But anyway, right. So a bit of a fail this morning on the open, whipsawed basically. Need to be looking at taking profits a lot faster, I think, at the moment. And scalping in and out a lot quicker. So I'm going to try and scalp this back today with 0.5% targets on price action. At the moment, though, this is not really very tradable because the moving averages are sideways. So I don't really want to be trading anything at the minute while this market hasn't got any directional bias. I'm going to wait for it to actually move. So we're in a consolidation there. With the futures, US dollars off on a mission this morning. Futures, I've entered second contract short. So I am still assuming and playing the short play on this at the moment. Although market structure at the moment is bullish, it's marginally bullish. You know, you could say to me, market structure is actually bearish. That's my view on it at the minute, is really that rather than the other, which is why I've got short position on. So I'm going to stop out the highs, or we're going to get gathered into positions on a break of those lows, and then I'm going to get another position added in for a target short down there. I don't think we'll get there in London. But that's what I'm going to try and build a position on for the New York Open. So just kind of one trade really today to take. At the moment I'm 135 down dollars. So nothing drastic really. Made 330 yesterday. So if this stops me out up here today, basically it'll just wipe out yesterday's profits. So I'll be back to square one. But yeah, that's the plan today. So I'm still short everything, but difficult morning. Difficult morning. No real directional bias as yet. So never a fail. Not trading is winning. Yeah, not trading at the moment is definitely winning. On all fronts, basically. It's a real good time to be watching the market and seeing what is going on, because not quite sure why your message has been held for review, Franco. Spike the likes. Not quite sure why spike the likes is something that YouTube doesn't like. Anyway, so yeah, it's just from a position trading perspective, as I said, it's probably not good time to be entering positions, unless at the moment you are looking for long US dollar, long yen, long Swiss. That's really all you can play. But what worries me about those plays as well at the moment is that they will at some point end. The monies will run into the safe havens for a period of time, and then that will stop, and you'll suddenly go into an accumulation. So what you don't want to do is try and play longs in an accumulation, because quite often you'll have a pullback out of it, won't you? So it's just very, very difficult. Very difficult at the minute. But anyway, at the moment, best thing I think to do is buy Bitcoin, because that seems to be what Putin's stuff in his pocket. So we'll see. Just turning over there. So I'll update in the Telegram group what happens with this trade this afternoon, or throughout the day, basically. But yeah, shorting S&P in the Globex session to see if we can get a little bit of a movement towards a downside today. And if that doesn't work, I will wait until this afternoon and play the New York Open. There we go. There's my bearish engulfing going in. I've got 19 seconds left on this candle. I might play a short on this candle as well. In fact, I'm going to let that auto trade. Okay, so short on the bearish engulfing. That is also a strong close candle, obviously. Again, there's a danger here that is the pullback on that leg. You've got to take a decision one way or the other. So if we are going down, that's my bias is down on this. So I'm going to take that one as my last trade on that. And obviously that ties in nicely with directional bias on the S&P. We'll see how they go. Right. So I'll be back at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let the bankers fight it out. Peace to all. Yeah, well said. I've got a feeling the bankers are hurting at the minute as well. I know the bankers are hurting at the minute. They've just had one of their main incomes taken out of the banking system. So, yeah. Okay, so I'll be back at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we will trade the New York Open. We'll see how we get on today. As I say, I'll be in the Telegram group. I'll post updates on the trades in there that I've got on at the moment. We'll see how we get on this morning with the rest of this session. And if we do manage to get some kind of downward movement in, it's really, really a tough call, as I say, here today. We're either going to accumulate to pull back, or we're accumulating to drop, but we are accumulating at the moment. So we're still coming out the back of the New York session with no directional bias. So again, it's a coin flip. One of them's going to work. In fact, if that is going to work, let's make some money out of it. What am I down today? 1.6. Might go for a home run. 2%. So go for 2% short on this. If we do break, if this does break now, this strong close, bearish engulfing holds, and we get down to these lows and break these lows, we're likely going to break those lows, which means we will get that move. And I'll probably be in 2 to 3 positions by the time that happens. So there's a good chance of making a 2% move at the bottom of that, if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll see. I need to 2 to 1 on that as well. Right, okay, so I'll be back too. Anything you need, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there. And I'm working on the MT5 version of the price action toolkit this morning, hopefully, assuming I can get head down on it. So I'm hoping to get that out in the next couple of days. So a few people have been asking me for an MT5 version, so I'm working on that. Otherwise, I will see you guys at 2 o'clock. Trade safe this morning, and keep your eyes on anything that you're in on the pounds, obviously. News, sorry, just quickly before I go. Sorry to keep rambling on. You got employment change at 115, and then we got Bullard speaking at the open, which is very weird. Don't normally get people speaking as the opening bell rings. I'm not quite sure what that's about. But 1:15 this afternoon. We've got US dollar to worry about. And then half an hour into the open in New York, we've got the rates. So busy afternoon this afternoon. So keep your wits about you. All right. See you at 2 o'clock. Have a good morning.